We better summon this thing.
We're going to summon this thing.
Ready?
Yeah. Oh! Fucking Brandon!
What's going on, cunts?
Oh, that's not how you start a podcast.
But we just did it.
We did.
But it's in there. So it's in there, it's fair game.
Righto.
Oh, is it hats off crew tonight?
I'm no hats tonight.
It's going to be funny because it's going to introduce me, and then you're going to have a hat in the first scene, and then all of a sudden it's going to be cut, and then you're going to have no hat.
Excellent.
It's going to be fucking hilarious.
I think it's even funnier with Paul's just hat.
Just
It's like
disappearing halfway
Hat
through
and
the
then
scene.
a lot of head.
A lot of head and then just... This is the best way to
Okay.
work.
Garden gnome. Paul and I have got each other little gifts tonight.
Yeah, so we're all together
Well, actually,
tonight.
BK's little beer. Show us your beer, mate.
We're all together. Yeah, okay.
I have a beer. It is a
Beer?
a ginger beer. Oh, it's really quite glary, isn't it?
Take it up to the camera and let it do its focusy thing.
It's not mirrored.
Oh, it's just not going to
Yeah,
work.
real close, then pull it back.
Oh, delicious.
Yeah, not a very creative random beer for you, mate. Owen and I have got each other a present.
Yeah.
So, because we're all together,
Who wants to go first?
we thought we'd get each other a beer. So we had to drink something rando. So, I'll go first. And now Owen really likes himself some Star Wars. So I got him the black
I saw this one.
Nipper. I don't know what that means, but the Haze of Revan.
Oh, it's in Darth Revan.
Yeah, sure.
Darth Revan.
Darth Bevan. Shit, yeah, that looks cool.
That looks sick. The can looks amazing.
Yeah, it's a pretty sick design on that can,
Yeah, it's
actually.
literally like...
Had a sneaky look earlier.
I might see if I can get a better picture and I'll put it on the screen.
Yeah, man.
Over BK's face, right?
Yeah,
Right here.
this one.
And but yeah, that's freaking awesome. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, beer.
Just,
And I like the black can. It's cool.
sorry. Shit,
Oh.
fuck the mic up too.
Just lights on
Oh,
fire.
it's a stout? Or
It's
it's a porter or something?
It's a beer.
It's a beer.
It's a beer.
It's an Australian IPA.
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, I'm used to like a lot of those dark beers being like almost like
Is
a
it a
milkshake.
stout?
Yeah, it's a. I don't think it's quite a stout. It's a dark beer of some kind, dark ale or
Gives a
something.
taste.
Yeah.
Maybe a porter.
Yeah.
Fruity.
Yeah, it's almost like floral.
Disgusting. Actually, it's not too bad.
I kind of like it.
Yeah, it's alright.
You better taste your own beer.
I could probably have one.
Fucking smells fruity, right?
I think there really doesn't really have one. There's 2 standard drinks in that can.
Is there a coffee aftertaste on that?
I don't know. I've had a fair few coffees today.
It's got a coffee aftertaste.
It does have a coffee aftertaste. Madness.
Actually,
It's definitely got that quite like a woody afterbirth.
Afterbirth.
thank you, Paul.
No worries, mate. Star Wars. I saw it and I thought of you. So.
Star Wizard. Thanks, mate. Well, I got you.
Oh, God.
I don't know what.
Oh,
Maybe I saw a fucking
Marshmallow.
poppin' fresh on here, and I thought of
Oh,
fat
God.
man. So I got you the S'moresman. It's that shit, and I didn't realize until after I looked at the can after I already bought it. It's actually Yvette picked this one for you. This
Thanks,
is
Yvette.
a nitro amber ale. So
Nitro Amber.
yeah, it's nitro. So it's
Oh, it's by
designed-
Wolf of the Willows. Nice.
Yeah, it's Wolf of the Willows again.
And
And-
Mork.
It literally says
And Mork hot chocolate.
yeah.
What?
Right.
That's amazing.
Gently shake can, open and quickly move on to step 2. Turn can upside down, empty contents quickly into a flat bottom glass. Now I'm hoping this is big enough.
And flat bottom enough.
glass.
That'll be big enough. Don't worry about
Yeah.
it.
And then step 3, wait, let it settle. And I think it sells kind of like a Guinness.
It seems like too much effort just to drink a beer.
Well, do you want me to
However-
do it for you, or you want to do it?
Get
Nah, I reckon
Yeah,
Paul
give
should
us-
do
Give
this.
us a crack. Shake it. Gently shake the can.
Shake and bake, bro.
Shake and bake.
Hey,
You can smell that from here.
Ready?
Hey, that's pretty good. Oi, shit.
Crack it.
Oh, shotgun it, bro.
This better work out.
It tastes like marshmallows.
You do got to let it settle too.
That was perfect.
A good look at it settling. That's fucking wicked.
Look at that.
Oh my
god.
Just
look
a
at that.
classic beer review podcast.
That is a big head. It is definitely a boy.
It'll settle.
You can never have enough.
But it's like a Guinness, that. A poorly
That's for true.
poured Guinness. That's for true.
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 Hello there.
Hello there.
The shit.
What you did?
Oh.
It smells like milk.
More
He
hot
needs some
chocolate.
milk.
Like it does.
Milk?
The ham mams are also here tonight.
I feel like that's not the name I
Ham
Texture is
mams.
like frothed milk.
Mm.
Yvette and Alia might chip in.
It's like a cappuccino beer.
Cappuccino?
A cup of chino.
What the hell?
It looks smooth, but
Can't taste.
I don't have an answer. Don't say anything and give it to BK. Just let him experience that for a minute.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah, it's weird.
You guys look like you haven't liked it, so...
I just don't know what I'm processing.
Oh man, it's got that like vomit acidy kind of smell to it.
Vomit acid. Oh, mate. Chewy.
You know what I mean?
I know that taste. What is that taste?
Maybe it's a s'more. Marshmallows.
It kind of tastes like marshmallows, but I don't think it's quite marshmallows.
Biscuit malts with s'mores inspired ingredients. A real toasted marshmallows, vanilla bean, and Mork organic cocoa nibs.
Cacao nibs.
Cocoa nibs!
Just gotta aerate it.
Warm it up.
Round out this hefty nitro amber ale.
Cover all 9,000 taste buds.
Feel the emulsion. That cream.
Vanilla.
That's a 10.
It's actually not bad at all.
Like,
I could actually drink that.
it's not bad, but
Wow.
what a job for a beer.
That's like a sales pitch, isn't it? You can send it to them. It could be you going like this, BK, and it says, "I could actually drink that." They'll fly off
All
the
this
shelves.
man drinks is Stonerwood.
Can we taste it over here?
Yeah, of course. Go for it. It's very bizarre.
Yeah, that first hit
It's
was
very bizarre. It's sort of like a no taste. It's sort of got no initial taste, and then it's
like
all
it's
after.
almost like a fairy floss taste.
That could be
Oh,
it.
I
Yeah.
don't hate that.
It's weird, isn't it?
It is different flavour.
It is not
But it's not
beery.
gross.
It's not hoppy
No.
at all.
Yeah.
It's
It's
just
It's
something.
like
very
an
smooth.
espresso martini and
Mm.
a
But a
bee
beer.
had a baby.
Actually,
Hot
that's
chocolate.
probably pretty true.
Mm.
But
And
more
that
hot
baby
chocolate,
grew
which
up
is
to
crazy.
be Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman.
You want to hold that? And there's your baby. We should begin because this is going to be quite a long one. I think we're all pretty big fans of this album, and
Agreed, yeah.
So what are we reviewing today, guys?
well, I'll get to that.
you pass me my book.
Welcome. Oh, Paul, you do the introduction, mate.
All right, welcome, guys. Hello, welcome back to episode 4 of the HamBoys
Cast.
Caster. We've got Owen, Brandon, and Paul all here today at my lovely, humble abode to welcome in one of our favourite bands of all time. I should favourite.
Well, they're my favourite band.
They're
Oh.
definitely probably my favourite band.
Well, they're my favourite band too. If we're ignoring all my other favourite bands, so
Should we all cut in photos of your tattoos?
we've all got.
I was thinking that.
We've
Here's
all
a picture of my tattoo, and BK's tattoo is going to be up here,
and my one's
And then-
just down here.
and then Paul's going to be right here,
Can you put mine in?
and Yvette's can go up here too.
And Ali's one will go in about 8 episodes.
Ooh.
Then we pin her down and force a tattoo onto it.
La
poke.
dispute.
Light dispute.
La dispute.
LA Dispute.
How about I tell the listeners a little bit about Light Dispute on this album we're going to be reviewing today?
Oh, you're going to talk about it? That's for true.
That's for true.
Oh, excuse me.
Bless you.
Thanks.
Just don't let it happen again. Light Dispute. Light Dispute
Yep.
are a band from Grand Rapids, Michigan, USA. formed in 2004. It's been pretty easy to describe the style of music for most of the other bands, but I mean, I would. They've been described as like post-hardcore, and there's a lot of those elements in it.
Emotional hardcore.
Yeah, very emo. And then obviously a lot of spoken word elements in it too.
Very spoken word.
Yeah. Which is funny because I find stuff like slam poetry kind of cringy, but then it draws a lot of that sort of stuff from slam poetry. So
Yeah, true.
anyway, spoken word, post-hardcore, emotional hardcore, whatever you want to call it. The current members of the band are Jordan Dreyer on vocals, and Jordan's cousin Brand Vanderlucht on drums, Chad Sternberg on guitar, Adam Vass on bass, and the touring musician turned full-time guitarist Corey Stroffolino on guitar.
Very good. Good lineup.
Yeah, really good. I mean, you've seen that lineup.
Yeah, a couple of times.
Times, and they
Incredible.
So
are
good.
fantastic musicians.
Previously, they had Derek Sternberg on guitar, who was later replaced by Chad, who was his younger brother.
Chad.
So that's a pretty Chad move, to be fair.
Chad move, all right.
Adam Cool on bass. That's another Adam on bass.
It's another cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And
Hey,
Kevin
that's
Whitmore
pretty cool.
also on guitar. He was an old guitarist. I think that's who Corey replaced. The album we're reviewing tonight, is Rooms of the House. So Rooms of the House was released 18th of March 2014. It had pretty good reviews across the board. Alternative Press gave it full marks. You know, they reviewed it
5 out of 7.
5
out of 7 full marks.
Full marks.
And they named it as one of the 10 essential albums of 2014. So they're an authority on this kind of music. So I think it's a big deal.
Massive deal.
Yeah.
I agree with them.
Shit, yeah, it's fucking awesome. Well, I don't know about full marks, but we'll get to that. It's not 5 out of 7.
Yeah, I
for
mean,
me.
it's not quite my favourite album, so.
Yeah. Anything else you guys want to discuss about this album? Anything before we start?
No, not particularly.
No, I think you've pretty much covered it all, hey?
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I will quickly say something. I reckon Rooms of a House came at a really appropriate time in my life. It sort of came out after I think I got past most of my mostly emotional times of my life. And sort of hit at the right time where their older music was a bit different. sort of was a bit more relationship based. And
This album is. Too,
well,
though.
this album is too, but in different elements, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Sort
I
of breaks it up a little bit more. I guess Wildlife did that too, but I don't know. I think it came at a really good time in my life, so I hold this album quite close. It's sort of it took a while to get into for me as well, but
Yeah, agreed.
after getting into it, it's higher than most other albums that I've listened to.
I'm not going to lie, I was looking really forward to this album when it first came out. And then when I listened to it, I was slightly disappointed that it didn't have the same
Yeah.
feel as the previous albums.
100%.
Hmm.
But
then
it
it really
had its
ruined
own.
And I still go back to the album
Yeah.
quite frequently.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Same guys.
Cool.
I much enjoyed going back and listening to this whole album to talk
Yeah, it was
about
good
it
to
again.
think,
It was
listen to it a bit closer.
great.
I haven't listened to it in a while too, so it's a
Yeah.
nice experience.
Really good.
Well, should we get into the review then?
Yeah.
Alright, so song number 1, Hudsonville, Michigan, 1956.
There are bridges over rivers. There are moments of collapse. There are drivers with their feet on the glass.
Who wants to start?
You take it away on.
Alright. I think it's a pretty good intro to the album. Sort of makes a quick summary of how this album's going to sound. Yeah, if you've listened to the previous releases, then this goes, here's what this sounds like, this album. It's not like Wildlife, it's not like Somewhere, and it's certainly not like Vancouver.
Yeah.
A bit more twang to it, didn't it?
It's just,
Definitely more
Yeah, I think
clean
it's-
sounding, I reckon.
yeah, a lot more.
It was
clean
definitely
in general.
It was definitely more. You could tell the producing was definitely a lot cleaner anyway.
And it sets up some of the lyrical main themes. So a little bit of stuff about the relationship dynamic stuff in the album,
Yeah.
and a little bit of stuff about like the natural disaster stuff, like all the stuff about snowstorms and hurricanes or whatever's going on there.
Yeah.
I'm really not really clear if all that stuff about the hurricanes and cars falling off bridges and shit is a legit true story or something.
No, it is. I actually looked into it at one stage, quite a while ago. I actually don't remember quite what it was, but yeah, it's actually based off true events of what happened.
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's either that or I've dreamt it, but I'm almost certain it's
It came
actually
to me in a dream.
it's based off true events that happened.
The
Because
dream of a dream.
I started looking into the song quite a bit because I wanted to know what actually happened around the time. Yeah.
Hey, look, this song is sick.
Yeah. Oh, and I gave it but I just gave it a 6 out of 10. Just because it's a...
Yeah, you didn't talk about any parts of the song, though, eh?
No, I didn't have, like...
You reckon it was
What
a
do you
good?
want me to say?
You
I
reckon
like-
it was a good intro
I like
song.
it's a good intro song. It has elements I like, such as like the build-ups to some of the heavier parts of like not the chorus, I guess like the pre-chorus where it's like so you went down to the back steps down to the back
Yeah,
steps.
that
stuff I
What's
kind of
that?
like.
What's
so
that
it's good.
called?
Oh man, it's so vivid. The lyrics really do paint a picture in your head in this song, I reckon.
What's that called? What's that called? Where they like, for instance, in rap artists, where they say things in a certain way.
The meter,
Not the meter,
Like the
but
flow?
the flow.
not the flow either. It's the way that they
hook?
they say the actual words that they're saying in
Articulation.
the bar. No,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it.
Pronunciation.
Shut the fuck up.
I thought of meter because
Nah,
likes
not
to
a
be
meter.
super
It's,
poetically
it's called-
inspired. And that's really important in poetry. Is the meter of your
Projection.
the meter of your what's the maybe I'm thinking of the same word that Paul's looking for. Delivery. The
Sort
meter
of.
of the
It's
delivery.
sort of like the delivery of it, but
So yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10. It's a good song. It's not my favourite on the album. It's just a good start to a cracking album. While Paul's looking that up, do you want to tell us what you think, BK?
Yeah, I'd probably rate the song, probably a 6, close 7. Probably closer to a 6, maybe. What is there to say about the song? I guess the lyrics, how vividly Jordan can paint a picture in your head about, sort of like where he talks about kicking the windscreen out of the car and is that not this song?
That's not this song.
that's.
Or am I thinking
I
at
think it's
first
6
reaction?
35. Or see from high. Nah, it's 35, I think.
Yes, 35.
35 is kicking the windscreen. Kick the windscreen, trying to get out. Yeah, it's
That's
35.
Scenes from Highway, is it not?
Water
Okay,
fills
yeah.
up.
Yeah,
It's 35.
35. Well,
Up in Hudson.
It's
And
still
then
the
you
same
got
sort of
the-
thing, right?
yeah, so
highly
They
descriptive
do talk
lyrics.
about a lot of that stuff, though.
because it's very, I guess it's very descriptive in that way. How it paints like now I might be getting this wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's painting the picture of like the family vibe within the house and so just sort of like small things that are going on at the time, and then when it comes through and knowing that I believe it's a husband is away at the time, so she clearly feels uneasy about it.
Because there's a storm coming.
Yeah, because there's such a horrific storm coming. Is it this song where they say, and I swear I saw lightning in your eyes?
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
That's this one.
Yeah.
And just how you can picture that, it kind of reminds me of the song, what's the Hello Darkness, my old friend? What's that one again?
And it's the Highlands.
Yeah, The Sound of Silence, where he talks about, where he says, a neon light flashing you in the eye.
My favourite lyric in this song is "It's a miracle the baby doesn't cry."
That's an epic line.
Yeah. That's my favourite line in this song because I feel like it paints such, like what you're saying about like kind of putting you in that atmosphere of like wind, noise, the coffee's steaming on the stove,
Yeah.
and then it's just it's a miracle the baby doesn't cry is like I just feel like it's so comprehensive, and it's just that like, and it also kind of breeds like an element of anxiety of like just that unease of like everything's a bit wrong, like it's loud and it's crazy, but the baby's not crying, and just like all this. That's my favorite line in this song.
Yeah. Agreed.
Done your homework, mate?
Yeah. Fuck, I just could not think of the word. Damn, that was like doing my head in.
Right.
The word I was thinking of was cadence.
Okay.
The cadence in...
like a stilted cadence.
It's like a
Kind of like
that's
how
a tonal
Obama
thing.
talks.
It's a tonal thing.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, okay, that's cool. That's a cool thing Jordan does in a lot of,
Yeah.
especially more his recent stuff. Is he puts, because he doesn't really sing. There's some songs that there's little bits of singing, but like there is a certain cadence in his
he's got a certain
delivery.
pitch, and he uses this cadence to sort of vary this pitch and do certain things.
Can I
Or
give
he
an
uses this
example of
cadence.
that?
Yeah.
Like stay, like the part where he's like stay down, like that.
Yeah,
I think
100%.
another good
Keep the
example of that.
radio
That's his
loud.
Oh man, yeah. There's a fair few examples of that now.
Stay
No, he
calm,
does
keep
heaps
the
of-
radio
he does heaps of
loud,
that.
take care, wind howls, father piles blankets in the corner by the furnace, mother lights candles, it's a miracle the baby doesn't cry.
Yes.
Man,
No,
And
it's
really
the lyrics
paints a
of this
picture
song.
you can see
Yeah.
in your head.
And that's what I love
So-
about La Dispute.
This whole album probably. I mean, they all do a little bit of that, all their albums, but this album I think is the best at painting a vivid picture in my head. Even though I find maybe even the other songs are a little like stuff like somewhere at the bottom of it. Sure, there's a lot of physically descriptive things like this, but I find what I like most about it from a lyric perspective is almost metaphorical stuff. So, for
Yeah.
example, we live amidst a violent storm. It's not obviously not
Yeah.
literal, but it's, it's
when,
metaphorical.
like when you read a really good book and it has a really good world build,
Yeah, this
You
is
just
very
find yourself in
very
it.
similar.
he does
yeah.
the same thing with
Yeah,
how he, and you know what really complements it with all of this album and all of La Dispute's music in general, and I've spoken to you guys about this before many a times, is that not just does Jordan have a fantastic voice for this sort of sound that he's trying to make, and I guess the passion and the emotion in how he sings and how he's trying to convey his story, his lyrics to you, but he's also accompanied by music that follows the mood of the story and the song at the same time.
Yep.
And I feel like that this is possibly their most impressive and amazing, the most amazing part about La Dispute is that their music and their vocals and their lyrics are all consistently on point and just benefit each other
yeah.
the whole
Totally
way through
agree, yeah,
every
yeah.
single song that they do.
Perfectly complimentary.
They complement
Harmonic.
they complement everything. You know, he starts dropping his pitch down low and talking about a really soft, and he'll whisper in the
Make it
soft
very
and
atmospheric,
really
yeah.
atmospheric, and the music will drop the same way,
Yeah.
and it will
Oh,
bring
the
you
dynamics,
down.
I think,
And
is
then
his
you know
vocals, yeah.
when he starts to have a couple of tweaks, and he's very second and third person in his lyrics as well. He talks about his perspective. He talks about other people's perspective in the scenario. He talks about his perspective of his self's perspective, if that makes sense as well. Like he talks about the whole room and point of value from everywhere. And as he tweaks with his own thoughts and his own lyrics and his own sentences, the music tweaks with it. You get like little pitches in the music or little changes in the build up, or you get, you know, different things. That drives me insane with these guys. Like that is my favorite stuff, and I really, really like that part where saw lightning in your eyes as that coal got through to the other side. That whole part before that, incredible. Like I reckon that's my favorite part of this whole song. And where, you know, obviously when they start off and they go everywhere wind.
The coffee maker hisses on the stove, the steamer crescendo, the radio emergency bulletins, and everywhere wind.
So it goes from this sort of like ding, 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 this really chill, relaxed, just like soft tapping beat, and then, you know, and he goes now and everywhere wind, and it just like it's this whole big, you know, he's saying that the wind come through the windows of this house and tore it apart because of these, you know, cyclones practically.
Huddle for cover
and a huddle for cover, and
you
the
feel
music
as vulnerable as the family
and
does.
the music
Yeah.
does that through sound.
And then how
It does that exact
and he
motion
describes
through sound.
other people's sort of happenings during the storm
Yes.
as well. Like talking about how there was a woman who got thrown from her car into a barbed wire fence. She was 6 months pregnant. Both and her baby lived. You tried, but the line or...
Just gonna read it all.
That's literally how it ends.
But-
I remember those nights.
Yeah.
If you want me to finish there.
No, but that's exactly
Just cover
right.
the whole
He
stuff.
just yeah, just sing it. We'll just sing it now. He
Yeah.
does. He smashes it.
We can't. We got to be careful. We're gonna go forever on each of these songs.
Yeah,
So,
that's
Paul,
true.
what's
That's true.
your rating?
Yeah. All right. Let me just. I've got a couple more quick points. All right.
You're
The
right.
end of the song is amazing. They do this sort of like breakout after like the wind has broken through the house, and you know he starts singing the lyrics from the start of the song again, but it's all like broken up, a little bit muffled, a little bit choppy. You know, instead of singing out, after dinner do the dishes, mother hums, the coffee maker hisses. You know, that's the lyrics, and then at the end, yeah, that's right. And at the end of the song, it's after dinner, and it's like breaking out, and then he just pops in with like, stay calm, keep the radio loud. You know, he's sort of changing up and breaking the sentence the same way the sort of the winds come through and broken up the moment in time and space that he was talking about. I appreciate that so much, and that's fantastic writing for me. Fantastic writing. I think the bass line at the end is really cool too. It's really chunky and comes through, and it's just like thick, and you know, it's sort of different from the rest
And
of the
as
song
the rest
as well.
of the song falls apart into just the rhythm section,
Yeah.
it gives that vibe of like, just things are coming down a little bit. Stay calm. Like,
And listen to
everything's
the
under
rhythm.
Control, and
Come back to your rhythm, your metronome, like, you know what I mean? Like back to the metronome when you
Your
feel
basics.
comfortable. So, yeah, I'll probably give this song an 8 out of 10. I've listened to it a whole bunch of times. It's one of the most listened to on this album for me. One of, I will not say the most, but one of the most listened to on this album for me. I really like this song.
Sweet, man.
I've written literal poetry, so
Yeah, well,
everything by them is
just
that.
about, yeah. It fits that mold. Song 2, first reactions after falling through the ice. I started first.
Yeah,
Paul?
we'll go Paul first this time around.
Yeah. Because I know you're fond of this song, Paul.
I'm very fond of this song.
Yeah.
Now, way to start an album with the top 2 songs being very high. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you my score for this one. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. All right,
That's a big call.
because this song is one of the ones that I've gone back and listened to individually.
Yeah.
Many and many and many of times, and I have enjoyed it every time. And every time I've listened to it, I've found something else that I like about it.
Yeah, we've
Even
had
now,
many conversations
We've
about
had
this song.
so many conversations about this song. You know, this song gets down to a couple, like, it's a real far off, sort of like stretched out scenario talking about, you know, going out to pretty much more or less out in the ice, in the snow, at a lake. You're walking on the lake for whatever reason. You're walking on the lake. You fall in, and then that's practically the story of the song, with a little bit of other context. But we don't.
And then
understand
coming back to
but turning that scenario of something completely horrifying and tragic back to my phone is in my pocket. Is my phone still there? And what those
that's true.
connotations
That is
of
sort of how you
why
react.
that phone is
You
in your
suddenly
pocket.
feel like-
What are you going to use that phone for? And it's all about his partner, all about his lover, and just like that horrific scenario happening. And then to think, you know, if all you're concerned about in that horrific scenario is my phone on me.
Well, it's
right
like
now
one of those
is
fleeting
insane.
thoughts that would
How am
go
I
through
going?
your
Am I going
head.
to Instagram this? Am I going to send this on Snapchat?
Follow us at HamBoys Pod.
Follow us at HamBoys Pod as we fall beneath the ice. This song is insane.
Wow.
I give it a lot of credit. This song gives me chills, made me feel some
Literally.
tears sometimes. You know, and lyrics of the song. Jordan says, "I will grow my beard long. I will cut my hair short. I will grow my beard out long. I will go to school." What else did he say? I'll never trust ice. I'll never trust a thing.
Yeah.
When he sings that, gives me chills, goosebumps,
Yeah, that bit I like.
chills and goosebumps, and yeah, just once again complimenting the music, complimenting the vocals and the lyrics, and the lyrics and vocals complementing the music consistently. Just masterpiece.
Can I add a comment on like what Paul said? Like, in terms of like the comment of like I'm checking my phone after I've just fallen through ice. I feel like a lot of this album kind of equates disastrous events like natural disasters with elements of a relationship, and I feel like this album is. This song in particular is so equivalent to that. So it's like it's literally thin ice, right? Like between the okay and the fall apart. And there's a line in the song where he's like and I thought I should tell you. I thought you should know because I thought it might scare you to see me under the ice. Make you remember you cared for me. What would you do if I died? And it's like that, like the in between life and the death, the okay and the fall apart. It's like the thin ice. Chef's kiss. I love this song.
Yvette's given it the chef's kiss.
The chef's kiss.
The chef's kiss.
I guess it's my turn now. Or...
Yeah, you go. Man.
Yeah. To be honest with you guys, I've listened to this song a lot, but I've never really, I guess, listened to it, if that makes any sense. I listened to it more for the music aspect of how it flowed.
I don't even want to just... You haven't literally have because you weren't here the other night, but you need to listen to our last conversation. It's literally just about what you just said.
Yeah. Funny. Anyway, now I've lost my train of thought.
Sorry. You
You
said you were listening to the musical aspect rather than the
musical
lyrical aspect more.
Yeah, and it's mainly because the way the song flowed and how it felt, rather than from a lyrical point of view. But it wasn't until sort of now where Yvette's just pointed that out where I'm probably going to go back to the song and listen to it properly again.
Dissect it a bit more.
And dissect it a bit and find a new meaning to it. Because listening to that there, like this is what all these conversations are about with these songs, is finding a new meaning in these songs. And yeah, I'm definitely going to go back and listen to this song again and try and understand the lyrics a bit.
Try and pull something else.
Yeah, try and understand the lyrics a bit more rather than just going, oh yeah, this is just another song on the album.
Yeah.
Shit, yeah.
What's your score for it?
Musically, I'd probably rate it higher than the first one. So yeah, probably a 7.
Yeah, right. That's crazy. Hey, isn't it funny? Sorry, before you just go into it, isn't it funny that every single time we've done a podcast, at some point in some time we've gone, maybe I should go back and re-listen to that song. Maybe I'm just not hearing it the right way. I should pull something else out of that or out of this. You know,
that's happened to us so much. Man.
That does happen to us so much, and I think that's.
I know this is not this album, but
because music is subjective.
Yeah.
You know, like your perception and your conversation is going to change the way you look and you hear it and you think of it. You know,
I know it's not this album.
We talk about that in one of the other episodes. I think the Out one with BK talks about Light Bearer or Naked and Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah? And even Child of Sorrow. And like you talk about these songs and you're telling us about what you've got from these songs, and it makes us appreciate those songs more, and we actually like them more because you appreciate them. Yeah. Because we're connected to you and you're connected to that song. So now we're connected to that song through you.
Yeah.
And I think we've all got this with lots of our music.
So much. Like Indonesia by August Burns Red. I never really got the hype until I read the lyrics. I was like, great music and all that. But it was just the music for me. And then I read the lyrics.
Yeah.
And then it just hits another level now. It's probably one of my favourites of the album.
Especially that.
Connected
just
that.
That.
And who passed on Indonesia's lyrics to you?
No.
Wasn't me.
Probably one of you guys, to be honest.
It was no, you passed it on to me.
I did to you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But I think Salad passed it on
Maybe
to
it
you.
was Salad.
I reckon this is my favourite song on the album, Ice. Yeah.
It was always my favourite until...
Who?
Until the Child We Lost.
We'll get there.
We'll just stop talking.
It was always my favourite to begin with, and then it changed.
It's fun. This is literally what we're talking about, Paul. How your perspective changes. Because when I first heard this song, it was a bit of a... I could take it or leave it, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I was just heard this album, heard Hudsonville, I'm like, cool. And then I heard Ice, and I'm just like, whatever. And it goes on, and there's other parts of the album I like better and all that. And I was like, oh yeah, whatever. And then you were coming out of the gates and you were raving about it. You were like, so good, I love this song. And I'm just like, what the hell? And like, why? And then I think, and Mac also did the same. He's a huge fan of Mac Thompson.
Oh, really?
Yeah, loves this song.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, shout out to Mac. And
Sponsored by Mac?
Sponsored by Mac. Mackie T.
Wait. Sponsored by Mac. By Apple.
Sponsored by... Fuck, I really don't think we should do that.
Not sponsored by Mac. Anyway, you both sort of came to, we're talking about it, and you were like, oh, I love the song or a song, and I'm like, huh.
And so I went back and listened to it again. I'm like, and I still look. To be honest, I still find it not an amazing song compared to the rest of the album, but it is a really good song, and I gathered a new appreciation for it.
Yeah.
I think lyrically, musically, I already enjoyed it. Just sort of,
Musically, it's awesome.
but the lyrics and really listen to this visceral, descriptive story being told, and it is like it's very easy to relate to the character that the story's being told by. I guess like you can put themselves in their position, and like you're walking on the ice, you're falling through. You're thinking you're thinking this could be our last moments, and you're just thinking like just kick up and save your phone and all this stuff that would literally go through your head if this were happening to you.
Phone.
It's just
I think that there's a lyric in the song. Quite, just correct me if I'm wrong, but where he talks about being at the funeral.
Would you show up to my funeral?
Would you
Get
show
drunk at my
wake and then
would you make a
scene
scene
and climb in and try to resuscitate me? That's an image that pops into my head. Like every time I listen to the song.
That escalation. You know what I mean? From like the start of that,
just falling
that
through the
part,
ice and just they're the things that have just
would you
flashed
show
through
up
his
at my
head.
funeral? Would you go to my wake? Would you make a scene and then climb in and try to resuscitate me? You know how like that escalation is that much passion and that much love that obviously this person has for this other person.
It's
and
thin ice.
Yes,
It's the loss of control.
It is. It's thin ice. It is thin ice. That's crazy. That's a good way to put it. Really, it's thin ice. That's a really good way to put it.
wow.
Another new meaning, hey?
Yeah.
How many new meanings are we going to mine out of songs?
Out of
I hope
these,
a lot.
Out
I
of
hope
these
a lot
songs.
too, because honestly, this is a blast. Well,
We could probably look.
9 out
we
of
could
10 is
go
a
on-
good score.
We could go
I
on
ain't
about
gonna lie.
these all night. What's your score of it?
I love this song because it's all about what separates the reality from the disaster. If we're talking about songs in general, it's a 10 compared to the rest of the album.
Oh wow!
It's a 9,
That's
only
a 10.
behind Child We Lost.
That's a 10.
A couple of taste buds.
See, this is what I mean. Like, I still,
So-
my opinion stands. I'll probably find more meaning in it still. But
Can we
my
get-
opinion stands? But you and Yvette and Mac.
I've been touched
And
by it
more
differently,
Yeah,
yeah.
I've been touched by the song differently.
Yeah, that's,
Can we get one of the beep, 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 beep. That's our first 10.
No, I did a 10 the other
yeah,
day.
White Bear, he gave it 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's our second 10. Beep, 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 beep.
If we're doing compared to
Monster Truck Rally.
If
Oh,
we're
I've
doing
read
it based on the entire catalogue of music that exists in the world, it's a 10. But compared to the rest of the album, it's a 9. But it's only behind Child We Lost.
You said that earlier.
Yeah, but I'm just making it clear.
We did hear you. I'm sorry. You said the exact same sentence already.
Let's get
We
moving.
can't stop.
No, we got to keep going. Keep going.
All right.
Stop me now.
Next,
Such a good
time. Having a
ball. Song 3, Woman.
In mirror.
I'm going to start this one off. This is probably one of my favourite songs off the album. It's a really good mood-setting song. That's really distracting. Please stop.
In mirror. In a mirror. Sorry, keep going.
Inception. Yeah, this is definitely probably one of my favourite songs on the album.
In mirror.
Yeah,
Or
Woman
really?
in Mirror. Because of that, just mainly because of the lines. What is it? All the motions of ordinary love and tiny dots on an endless timeline, which puts life into so much perspective when you're in a dark place. Well, I've found when I'm in a dark place, I listen to these kind of songs, and they put sort of a bit more meaning back into life to bring you back to reality in a way.
Like a bit, yeah.
Especially we're only tiny dots on an endless timeline. So I sort of take that and think, we're only here for a short amount of time,
Existence is finite
and
meaningless.
and
But that's not a bad
and
thing.
it's what we make of it. And
Yep.
It's what we want to make of it.
Yep. It's like that Mr. Peanut Butter quote from BoJack Horseman.
The universe is a cruel, uncaring void. The key to being happy isn't to search for meaning, it's to just keep yourself busy with unimportant nonsense, and eventually you'll be dead.
Yeah, that's spot on. So I resonate with this song a lot.
Things. That's funny.
Just through listening to it in dark times, and it just sort of resonating with me during those times.
Sweet, man.
That's good.
Go for it, So yeah, I'll probably rate it an 8 out of 10.
That's a good score.
GG.
It's Ross, boss. Let's let him in.
One of the other HamBoys is here.
Pressy!
I might have put the intermission thing there again, the bloody Monty Python one, because
We
so
just
out
had
of sorts.
Yeah, we just had some people come in and say good day.
So anyway,
All right, woman in mirror.
Woman in mirror. I don't know what you guys said, but all I got down is it's like a gentle, calming piece of music.
BK's favourite song, 8 out of 10 for me.
I was BK's favourite song. Yeah.
It's not my favourite song.
You said almost favourite song,
Almost
8 out of 10.
favourite.
Sorry, I
8 out of 10.
You did give your opinion on it.
Yeah.
BK did. I didn't.
started.
Oh, you didn't. Yeah. Reminds me of like a quiet morning or a warm room in winter. It's like
Yeah.
a little hug.
It is.
And then, like, I think a really vivid memory I have of it is when we saw them live at the corner and they played it.
Mm.
I think it's like an old clip on my Instagram.
Yeah, I don't actually remember that. I don't remember them playing it. I remember them playing King Park, and that was it.
Because it was just like everything just slowed down for a minute, and it
the
was
chicken-
just.
No, it wasn't a
Stupid
corner. It
secret.
was room to the
They
house
definitely
out
played it at corner. Yep.
there. Oh.
I'll see if I can bring up the old clip and put it on or whatever. But yeah, it was
cool.
so cool. So I gave it a 7 out of 10. I like it a lot, and
Hey, it's pretty
that's
good.
all I got to say about that.
Fair enough. Well, there's a couple of slow songs on this,
Raw
but
Forest.
cheers to the slow song.
Is this a slow? There's a few.
Yeah, I don't know. Well,
I
it's
actually,
either between
I only
this.
had a mouthful of this left because
It's-
that was a long break we just had.
It's between this. It's between woman reading, and it's between objects in space.
Woman Raised, the quiet song.
No, because I reckon No, this song's a quiet song compared to Woman Raised.
That's what I reckon. This song's quiet in
At
compared
least
to that.
compared to those
Fuck. Oh, it's
because
cold.
Woman Reading has that sort of heavier bit at the end.
Yeah.
whereas-
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
This is the quiet song.
It is the
but
quiet-
objects
yeah,
in
no,
space.
yeah.
Alright.
It's Tony Johnson and Another Timeline. That's it.
Man, they fucked that one on the other side of the world. And I'm out of beer.
Oh, I'm almost out. That was not
Whoa! There's something.
Hey, that's nasty.
That's
the nastiest. That's
Dude,
the
man.
nastiest thing.
I think some seriously nasty sediment like settled at the
Ugh.
end of it.
Yeah, probably.
It tasted
What?
like
It's
someone
a
ground up a
homebrew.
dry carrot.
A handful of sand.
Dry carrots.
God, that's disgusting.
I don't think
All right. Well, look, I'm gonna.
Yeah,
Owen
just-
can still
just
hear
finish.
us. She's in the other room, but
Yeah.
yeah, slow songs. So I reckon the song is carried by the lyrics and the vocals, and you know the music isn't really super. It's quite intricate. The guitar's beautiful in it, but it's nothing spectacular in my mind. It's a very good song. I still listen to the entire thing as it comes on whenever I'm listening to the album. I'll probably give it a 6 out of 10 pretty happily. Like it's a good song. Don't roll your fucking whole face, mate. 6 out of 10, full marks. Look, it's good. It's just doesn't speak to me like some of the other songs on the album, I think.
No, strong disagree.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Music is subjective. So
Is it?
fuck off.
Wow. Okay.
You should kiss.
On that note.
Kissy, kissy. You're a sexy nana.
Brandon, you won't if you.
Oh god, that just watched that shit taste out
You
of it.
just
carrot.
sit down, please.
More dry
All it
carrots.
was dick view in
Oh,
camera.
like it's just such a good beer.
boom,
Hey,
dick shot.
quick shout out to Stone and Wood with their Pacific Ale.
Stone and Woods.
I don't know about you guys, but every
Stone and Wood?
Stone and Wood.
Look at the Stone and Wood here.
That's so. Look at this.
Over there is Stone and Wood. Probably the best
Shout out
beer
to
on
Stone
the
and
market.
Wood. Great beer. Always great beer.
Yeah, mate.
Alright, next song. Song number 4, Scenes from Highways 1981 to 2009.
I let the car drift some. Your uncomfortable pose and profile, the postures of
Take it away, boys.
I'll start. Like a lot of the songs in this album, I think what I like most about this is it's highly descriptive. I can feel myself behind the wheel of a car alone out on highways.
I agree. I've written exactly the same thing
Yeah,
for
like
my first note.
all like a little social situations he describes throughout the song. I'm just like, I feel like I'm there. I know. This is what I was saying. I think before, like how about these songs are also descriptive, and I find it very easy to like empathise with the vocal character that's being described.
It's like envisioning. It's just like close your eyes, listen to it, and you're there, and you're in that moment. In that moment, looking at it,
it's like a really good book.
It's like a really good book when
man.
the world build of a book is explained, and you can paint the pictures in your mind of what you're reading.
Yep.
He does that through his voice, and that's incredible.
Yep.
And this one, I agree. Actually, like, I'll actually go out and drive, and instantly feel better about being on the road and driving when this song is on.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll put this on so I can listen to it while I'm driving, just for that really slow moving start, and like that really really moving start.
Yep.
And then,
I guess like
ding,
sonically,
now,
I like that it takes a little bit of a heavy
so
turn
good.
at the end.
Yeah.
Like I can't remember the lyrics now. He's like, "You're a," whatever. I can't remember the lyrics, but you know the bit at the end. Like, I think it's a bit more stuck into it, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I give it a 7 out of 10 for those reasons. Good song, love it.
Yeah, three quarters of the way through the song, they have this like really sort of what I've written here is like this really cool progressive chord change, like riff.
Is that bit?
Huh?
That bit you're talking about?
No,
No.
it doesn't sound like that.
Go on.
But there's this really progressive chord sort of structure change thing, and I really click with that. It speaks to me sort of every time I hear this song, and I love it. And when you're listening to a song and you really like certain parts of it, you could be like, the start of the song is so good. Like, I know like a couple of songs where the start of the song is so good, but then the rest of the song sort of washes out a little bit, and you're like, I really like the start of the song, so I'm going to listen to it for that, but then the rest I'm not really too phased. This song's one of those good ones that has multiples of those moments. There's a really big one at the start with that first verse, that first sort of mood, that first sort of like envisionment of driving and, slowly swerving over the center line of the road and, driving pretty much with you let the wheel go pretty much through history. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Sort of like all roads lead to Rome. That road is going to take you wherever you want to go. Like,
I need to really listen to this song.
Oh,
get
dude,
a totally different grasp on it, because this is a song that I guess I've listened to a lot, but it's just another one of those songs that I've kind of it's just been another song that I just listened to it for the musical purposes rather than delving into the lyrics like I have with sort of like the previous albums.
So fucking wild.
What is this?
What is this?
We're gonna fill it. So, sorry, finish what you're saying.
No, that's pretty much it.
Last time we were talking about how we were discussing about how some people are just like, oh, why do you listen to this kind of music? You can't even tell what they're saying, right?
Metal,
and our attitude has always been, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, I don't care really about the lyrics might be amazing, but it's not why I'm listening to a song necessarily.
Yeah. And my answer is actually usually it's because I can't understand the lyrics in pop songs.
Yeah, I can't.
Anyway, I can't pick them up.
Unless you sit there and really listen to it, and that's no different to any heavy music, really.
Yeah. You really have to listen to it, or you have to read the lyrics with it and go, wow, how are you saying it like that?
We're having this discussion, and Yvette and Alia sort of pointed out that they'll listen to the lyrics of a song, no matter whether they like the genre, whichever genre or what, doesn't really matter. But it was just interesting how some people might focus more on the lyrics as the focal point of the song.
What we said was, remember Anthea?
Yeah.
Do you remember at work when we used to work with her, and she'd just sing? She'd just sing whatever songs came on, whatever playlist was on at the cafe. She'd just sing,
No, I
She'd
never
just sing
really
the
sort of
words. Well, when I
picked that
worked
up.
with her, she used to just sing the words, and it was wild. And I always was just like, "How do you know all the words to every song?"
Although, yeah, I did notice that when I was a lot younger with my sisters would listen to songs and pick up the lyrics like that.
Yeah.
And I'd have to listen to the song
You
a
have to-
million times.
And
to
read
know
it at
You
the
have to
same
learn the
time to
lyrics,
like
yeah.
hear it and actually focus on it, or
Yeah.
like follow along with the lyrics, so you could be like, "Okay, that's what they're saying, and it's now sticking." You know what I mean? Fucking genius lyrics. Thank God for you,
Yeah.
because you've helped me
Oh,
through
man.
so many songs.
Find new meaning.
And what we're saying is, we actually think that there might be two different sorts of people out there that listen to music differently. Because Owen and myself both
And
listen
I
to,
think you
and
too
I
as
think
well,
you
yeah.
too, yeah, both all listen to the music,
We don't really...
not
that's
the
not-
lyrics.
I
we
don't-
listen to the back, the
Yeah.
other
And it's
part.
not like the instrumentals. It includes the vocals as part of the music.
But we listen
the
to
lyrics can sort of come second to it.
The music as
Like,
a whole
yeah.
piece,
The lyrics
everything
might
included.
have more
Also-
meaning after the fact.
Yeah.
But I
But
also think that's subjective to different songs. I'll find some songs where it hits me lyrically
Yeah.
a lot harder,
Well, but
while then other songs, the lyrics are kind of, and the vocals are kind of drowned out into the background.
Yeah. But the perspective on that as well was because you generally look at the lyrics in music anyway, because as a vocalist, you're looking at how they say certain things, how they pronounce certain words, what they're saying as well within that. You do that initially anyway. So out of the three of us, you'd be picking that. It was interesting to think, what is your perception of that? Like, what is your take? It's
I'll
still
make-
blowing my mind though. Like,
Yeah, it blows
it's
my
still
mind.
blowing my mind, especially like BK saying stuff about
This
this.
is what, because
And I haven't even listened to the
this,
other
this
podcasts.
is a highly
Exactly right.
descriptive lyrical album, and then
We're still
Paul
listening
and I
to
have
the
talked
music.
a lot about the lyrics, but then you've gone and talked a lot about the music, which is still, it's still the case. Like, the music is what comes first to me. So.
However, you listen to the song and then you listen to the lyrics.
Yeah,
Every song on
every
this
time,
album,
yeah.
I've
Yep.
listened to the song and gone, I like the sound of that one. What is it about?
Yeah.
And then I read the lyrics. Every single song on this album. And maybe that's why I gave Woman in Mirror a lower score. Because it's all lyrics.
Yeah, it's lyric based.
It's lyric based.
I sort of disagree. I think I immerse myself in it, and the lyrics still come second.
Maybe.
Anyway, you didn't give it a rating, BK?
6 out of 10.
I give this one an 8 out of 10.
I've got to go back and listen to the song properly and sort of form a proper opinion. I tried to listen to the album today while I was at the gym, and
Good album, concentrating on things.
yeah, and it was just sort of in the background.
Yep, cool. Well, moving on.
Moving on.
Song 5 for Mayor in Splitsville.
What an iconic start to a song, though.
It's
definitely- How good is it though when you can go through an album and you know exactly what song's coming next, and that
Yeah, I'm
song
always
is
ready
you're
for this.
you're always like you just know that guitar part's just going
May
to
I-
come in.
May I start this one?
Of course.
Yeah, go for it.
So I've got a small funny story for you. And we've now arrived to my favourite song on the album. Hands down.
Yeah, actually, no, we vaguely talked about this.
Yeah. This song speaks a lot to me. I really, really like it. Now, when this album came out, this was my least listened to song. I listened to every other song way more than this. I couldn't even recall this song.
Really?
100%. And it was one time, do you remember Bob?
Yes.
Katie.
Yeah, Katie.
Yeah.
This one time I was
Shout
looking
out to
through...
Katie.
This one time I was looking
Bob.
through something Katie put up on somewhere, and she wrote these lyrics in. And I was reading these lyrics, and it was the end lyrics of this song, right?
I'd rather-
Now I'm proposing my own toast to all those married men.
Yeah.
Maybe
Maybe
I'm
I'm
miserable.
miserable.
I'd
Maybe I'm
rather
miserable,
run
yeah.
for mayor in Splitsville than
And
suffer
suffer
Yeah,
your
maybe
jokes
I'm
again.
miserable. I'd rather run for mayor of Splitsville than suffer your jokes again. And I was like, what the fuck is that? What is that from? Like, why does that sound like I know it? And it's because I'd heard this song many of times. So I went back and I was like, what is this about? And then I read the lyrics. And then I listened to the song properly. And I really listened to this song. And by God,
So good.
this song is just the way it talks about being stuck and being like, you know, Splitsville is this town where nothing moved for him and nothing happened at all, and
it's
he'd
literally
like the end of the song is he'd rather run for the mayor of this town that gave him nothing but boring, plain old rubbish.
Splitsville is also like a analogy for
It is.
for breaking up.
It is exactly right.
Splitsville.
Exactly right. You know, so it sort of had this like good double entendres in its all sentence and everything, and it was fantastic. And I don't know, like once again, the more you listen to this, the more you find in it, and you go,
Yeah, I'm totally gonna have
cool.
to listen to this.
And
song
not just
again.
that, like,
have another sort of look at it in a different way.
yeah. You grew up with sisters as well. You grew up with
Yeah.
two sisters, 3 sisters. Sorry, I've grown up with 2 sisters. And the first verse, as he pretty much talks about, like, I used to play house with my sisters in the basement, and sister made me husband. She was older, so I did her bidding. And I just fucking love that. I was like, oh, that's so. But I didn't like it at the start because it was so punky. You know what I mean? Like that starting riff is so punky. Like,
dude, I would call this the poppy song of the
oh,
album.
probably punky,
The most
poppy.
like poppy
You know what I mean?
ballad-like song.
But, yeah, and that's not what I listen to normally. But how funny is it that it is now my favorite song on this album? And I actually shown my wife now, who's sitting around from us, and she also loves this song. We listen to it together, which is nice. So I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10 as well.
Is it kind of like a, without sort of delving into the lyrics too much right now, kind of like a "This town sucks."
I hate this town. It's
not-
so washed up.
And all my friends don't give a fuck.
I wasn't going to quote that, but
But that's what you're trying to
I
say.
hate this town.
typical like American hardcore.
I don't think
kind
it's
of-
quite like that.
No, go on, no.
It is, but it's not. It sounds like it should be like that, but it's not. Because it's La Dispute. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because there's more to it than just being some sort of poppy, punky, sad, I hate my world right now, emo stuff.
I'm unhappy, please
Yeah.
don't make the same mistakes as me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, actually,
Please don't make
Dude,
the
you
same
know what?
mistakes as me.
it's like Edit Your Hometown, and there's similar themes
It
in
is.
this song.
It is.
It's
Absolutely.
literally like, don't make
It
mistakes.
is.
As in, obviously, in that song, he's saying, don't, like, it's literally the name of the song, Edit Your Hometown. Like,
Exactly
go out,
right.
do something else, and it's a bit like this.
Yeah.
It is, and it connects to so many things. I love it. I reckon it's fantastic. Fantastic because it's such a counterintuitive song for me. Like,
You didn't...
it's not something I would enjoy, but I gave it such a chance, and now it is my favorite song on the album,
Wicked.
which is crazy.
That's so good, man.
It's so crazy. So,
Um,
listen to it.
I
Everybody.
would like to say that it was also one of my favourites in the album. I think, because this was the first single released, yeah, of this album. It was either this or Stay Happy There.
It was Stay Happy there, wasn't
Oh, was it? Okay. Well, maybe this was like the first video clip they did for this album.
it? It might have been the first video.
Yeah. And yeah, as I said, I was like, I feel like, I just find it interesting you called it like the punky song, but I guess like the pop punky song in the.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
sorry,
Yeah.
punky like
I
punk,
get you,
like
yeah.
like fast punk. I'm
So, yeah, I
talking
found,
about
like the.
not like Blink 182, but I'm talking.
Well, no, more like Blink 182 or like.
Oh well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but yeah, I get what you mean.
Do you?
Yeah, I do, man.
Oh yeah.
I think it like
Yeah.
also lyrically it describes like the challenges and nuances of a long-lasting relationship, how you might face it, like a relationship that goes for a long time. It's what you value in it might not be passionate, spontaneous anymore. It might be more something comfortable, and it brings with it new challenges, and they talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
those sort of themes in it. And then there's also like that stuff you said about, you playing house with your sister and like the naivety of children and looking up at relationships and adults and seeing how that's perceived through their eyes and stuff. I don't know, I just feel like descriptively I'm being put in their shoes once again.
Yeah. But it starts off so like, oh, it just starts off so cool with him going like that sort of like whiny.
Funny what
Yeah,
you think
funny
of.
what. Yeah, how whiny is that? Even just say it like that. Funny what you think of.
I think the worst,
You know what I mean? It's
the
so
worst thing I
whiny.
can
It's
say
so
about La
poppy.
Dispute is they're whiny.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
actually the first time I've told you guys, but
Yeah.
the first time I ever heard him, like Mac showed me
I
such
actually
small
thought it was a
hands.
joke when you.
Yeah, he showed it to me, and I looked at it and I'm like, "Is this a?" I thought it was like he was trolling me.
I was the same.
I was like, "What the fuck is this
I was
shit,
the
man?"
same when you guys showed me, and then
And then I don't really.
Luke Poole showed me.
I actually went home after you showed me and was like, what is he actually crapping on about? Like, you were telling me the story.
They're good, I swear.
Of King Park. Yeah, pretty much. It was like, nah, you got to listen to this.
King Park is my
And I listened to it and I was like, whoa, this is actually really powerful. And then
You and I knew.
and then I listened to I think it was Edward Benz. And
27 times.
That just blew me away. And that's just where my whole life
We've
sort
got
of
to get off
Stop,
wildlife.
let's stop, because we
gotta
won't
get
shut
off
up about wildlife.
because that's going to be like the 3-hour episode.
I gave it an 8 out of 10.
That's fair enough. That's a good score.
Your PK?
Yeah, you guys are pretty well hit the nail on the head.
We're pretty hit.
Shush. This is honestly I almost feel kind of underprepared with this album, just because I've listened to it.
You just listen to it differently the way we
listened to
have,
it, so differently to you guys. Like, it's been such a musically sort of the word was there, and now it's gone.
Engaging?
Far more musically engaging for me. So I know what song's coming next. I could probably just about name every song, but I couldn't tell you sort of lyrically what's going on in most of the songs.
Which is bizarre for me to hear you say that, because you would depict the lyrical shit out of this entire album.
Yeah.
You would destroy this album.
Which
you would
is,
come back and be like, listen to this
really
fucking
strange.
song.
Well,
it's amazing. And I'd be like, oh shit.
Yeah, it's so strange, like how I went
Yeah.
with like
Now I'm
Wildlife
going to listen to this whole album again.
and Somewhere, where I studied the album and sort of saw all the little intricate bits into it and how it was sort of set up from other albums, like the Here Here albums. I didn't realize they were all set up until I just had this massive, like, mind
bleeds
explosion,
into
and
the
I
other
was like,
stuff.
wow, what the hell? But then I think this is probably one of the
It
first
all
albums
makes
where
sense.
Brain blast.
I think this is the first album where they didn't really use any of the Here Here albums sort of bleeding into the.
It could be some that we're just not seeing, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
And
it's so
probably
smart with
Because
how
they don't scream it from the rooftops. It's very subtle. Some of it's pretty obvious, but
Very
some of it's very
subtle,
subtle.
It's very like them to do that.
Yeah.
Even stuff like that, that relation to Eddie, your hometown, and
And
always
Splitsville.
mind explosion. What you
Yeah.
said.
But yeah, just that whole the guitar part at the start, and then just sort of and then all of a sudden it slows right down, kind of keeps that beat going, but then it's kind of like story time. Like I've got something something to say.
Story,
That's how I kind of find that song. I'd probably give this one a 7 out of 10.
Definitely worth it. Definitely worth a 7. Good one.
Wicked.
Let's go on to song number 6.
It's your song number 6, 35.
35.
Pew, 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 pew. Alright, 35.
Anyway, enough of that bullshit K-Mac stuff.
35.
Shout out to K-Mac.
That's a K-Max.
Sponsored by K-Mac. Imagine.
Please, Daddy.
Please.
Who wants to
35.
start? I don't know. For me, it's probably the weakest song on the album.
Oh, get fucked.
Yeah.
Wrong.
Strong disagree.
Anyway,
Strong disagree.
well, I don't dislike any of these songs. I love them all dearly, but I just compare this to most of the other songs on the album, and I find it rather forgettable comparatively. Like, I like it, but it's like I sort of got to listen to it again and be like, oh, that's right, it's this song. I like this. And it's taking me on a little journey, and I go through it, and it's good. I like and lyrically, once again, it's very descriptive. I feel like I'm in the place of, like, I'm empathizing with these characters that are being brought into the story, and musically, particularly the guitar parts, I like. And especially in the soft parts, like the do 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 do, and that kind of stuff. I like it, and that's where all the rating is weighted, because otherwise I could sort of take it or leave it. So 35's a 5 out of 10 for me.
Wow, yeah, I have to really disagree, because this is
Strong disagree. Yeah.
this is
Please tell me.
Look, I love it that you touched on a lot of really good points for this song, but do you want to take it away first?
Oh, yeah, I guess so. Damn, now I'm put on the spot.
Yeah, you're almost like
No,
a
the whole-
fucking podcast.
We're all
the
on the
whole
spot.
thing is... I think this is probably one of the better songs on the album where the music seriously fits in with the description of the lyrics.
Yeah.
It's super ambient, kind of...
Sort of what we were talking about with Hudsonville.
Yeah.
How it complements the vocal
Very
and
much
lyrics
so. Yeah.
with its with its tone, with its pitch, with its chords, everything.
Yeah, but the whole description of like talking about the whole storm coming through kind of scenario with the where he talks about where it's slow and sort of like almost ominous in a way. He's talking about like where the wires snap and the concrete gives, the metal twisting, and everything tumbling down. It's like you can really picture everything.
Yeah.
You can almost feel it and be there in that.
That's what I was saying. Like one of the
whole
things, part of
scenario.
what I like about this is because I feel like I can empathise. Like I feel like I'm there.
Yeah.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, I agree with all these points you make about it being like sonically and lyrically very meshed well together.
Yeah.
But it's just
That's also not a surprise for the Lattice View. They do that.
Sure,
They've
they
always,
do that to
they've
perfection.
always done that. They do that. Yeah, that's why they are so highly regarded by us.
So yeah, for the whole description and everything, I guess I can kind of hit this song differently. Would definitely be an 8 out of 10 for me.
Nice. I think Yvette wants to say
I think
something.
Yvette wants to say something.
I'm so upset by that 5 out of 10. For me, I think this song is number 2. Oh, I feel like I said this song is top 3 for sure. I feel like what we talked about with first reactions after falling through ice, like that very visceral, descriptive analysis of what's happening. I feel like this song does it better than any song on the entire album in terms of that like momentary, like moment by moment description. Like people in their cars don't feel anything until the bridge splits. Pets they had in the back seats and car seats, like every single kind of momentary thought that goes through your mind when you're going through that like sudden tragedy like this is just like so good. I completely disagree with that 5 out of 10. Like this is like top 2 for me on this album. I just think it's so beautiful and descriptive and tragic. It's just
Well,
Can't chef's kiss
I think
each
we've
song.
seen
Come
it,
on.
but
every
would you
song.
give this song
we
the
can
chef's
when
kiss?
they are dispute. We can chef's
Yeah,
kiss.
I
kiss
guess
each
so.
song. There's 3 songs that get chef's kiss on this album for me, and it's
4.
Falling Through Ice.
4.
No,
You've already given 3 chef's kiss
no,
right now.
no.
You've
There's
given
3. Okay, there's 3.
You-
Falling Through
no,
Ice.
You've given Falling Through
Chef's
Ice.
kiss.
You've given scenes from you've given Splitsville, and you've given 35,
Okay, I'm
and you're about to
retracting-
give The Child We Lost.
I'm retracting Splitsville for 35.
Oh,
I am.
You can't do that.
I'm retracting.
Strong disagreement.
you've already given it the chef's kiss.
I'm retracting Splitsville for 35.
The chef's gone back and he's celebrated.
35
He's opened a bottle of
is getting my chef's
champagne.
kiss.
Lyrically or
Had a
musically?
shot of schnapps.
Hold on, let me just read the lyrics here. People trapped in their cars, put both feet on the glass and then kick hard. Water pours in, seatbelts twist, river flowing around, everything going down.
Oh man, think of the panic in that moment.
Like,
though.
but
Like,
does
how
that not
vivid is
portray
that?
that
Yeah.
for you? Like, is that just not the most vivid, descriptive thing you've ever heard? And then the
Not the
part
most.
that I really like
It's
is
so vivid.
Elden
though.
Ring.
Elden Ring?
What?
Blood Moon?
That's Blood Moon.
people under the water, people trapped in their cars, kick and try to get out. People still with their seatbelts on. Pets they had in the back and car seats. I just like
It's so descriptive.
it's
and like,
so descriptive. Like
for anybody that's been in a car accident, not necessarily with water as well, but like I was in a bad car accident, we had a dog in the back, and literally I remember, and I'm not even a huge metal fan, and I remember hearing it and actually being able to understand the lyrics, and I was like, oh, this just, like, it hits very different. It's really good. I like it. Thank you.
Thank you, Chef's
Wow.
Kiss.
Okay.
Well, there we go.
I feel
the
very attacked.
wags.
Look,
give
man,
it
you're
a
allowed
chef's
to.
kiss.
You're allowed to give it a 5, man. If that's
No,
what you want.
look, everything
I
you said makes
personally-
perfect sense
I
to me. This is all what I like about it.
I
You're
personally
entitled to your
recommend-
opinion, but it's wrong.
I personally recommend you listen to it again and give it another
Yeah, no, I might
taste
see
in
it in a
this.
different light.
I'd like to say a couple of things about this as well, since we've got a
Since we're doing
a
podcast.
5, an 8, a chef's kiss. I'd like to point out a couple of little dot points. I think what Yvette said about this song was very true. I think what BK said about the song was very true as well. I think a lot of things that Owen said about the song were very true as well. I think there's good points all around about how explanatory this song is through its lyrics and through its mood and through its progression. I'd like to draw a little bit of attention to repetition is power if used correctly. They use some of the lyrics that Yvette rang out, some of the lyrics through the middle of the song, and they repeat the lyrics 2-3 times, and then they swap to another set of lyrics, and then they repeat it 2-3 times in a really slow spot. And using those lyrics repeatedly gives it more power in this sense. If it's used correctly, it can be some of the most amazing things. You know, one of my favourite bands of all time, August Burns Red, repeat a lot of lyrics. And sometimes they smash it, and then sometimes they don't. They're just repeating something over and over again. It ticks me off, even though I love their music. I don't think I've ever heard La Dispute stuff it up. If they've ever repeated something, they've repeated it for the right reason, the right time, and it's always sounded amazing and completely made sense. So, I want to say another small thing besides repetition is power and everything that everyone else said about it. They add in some chimes after they do the last repetition. And they add this really nice chime into it, which just sort of twangs in the background. It's super hard to hear, but
I don't recall it well. I'll put it in.
Yeah.
I can see it all where they look for survivors. Searchlights float, change the color of smoke clouds, and shadows still fall. People under the water.
It's really, really hard to hear on your first, second, third, whatever. Listen.
Which part?
But,
It's the
it's
part where
about
it's
like 3/4 through.
concrete gives in, metal twists up and onwards, and I watch and I can see it all twang. All the wreckage and the cars piled in the river.
Oh, okay, so
in
it's
the
like
rail
this
yard,
little.
metal
There's like this
twists.
chime in it. There's this chime, and I don't know what it is about this chime, but this chime gives me this really, really nice feeling. It sort of like just hits me and goes, oh, like adds to it. I get major goosebumps from this song. This is like that tie factor between Ice, 35,
Wow.
right? And these were the two, and then Splitsville came in and ruined it and took the crown from me. 35 is a 9 as well. There's 3 9s right there for this album, and I've probably listened to this song as many times as I listened to Falling Beneath the Ice, right? But after it as well. Like, I listened to Ice first, and we listened to the whole album, and then I hooked onto this, and I was like, how the hell do you explain something so perfectly with so little words? Like, honestly, he's got 4 bars to speak, and he's saying, like, a repeating line of, you know, concrete gives, put your feet on the glass and kick, you know, concrete gives, metal twists. He's saying the same thing over and over. Dust piles move, you know, and he's speaking like you're just connecting with it. Like, how do you do that?
You become more immersed
How do
in
you
the
do that?
situation as he described it.
Exactly.
In real time.
How do you do that?
Yep.
You know what I mean? How do you actually portray that?
So maybe I need to go and listen to this again.
This boy's my 9 out of 10 as well.
So everything Jordan is describing in this song is an actual fact that happened. So when he's talking about, I put my hands on the table and tried to imagine if I could break glass. I tried to imagine if I could battle panic and win against it and survive. That is an actual thought process that he's gone through, because this is a true story.
Yeah, of course. Of
He's
course.
imagined that somebody else had to go through.
Man, he just thinks on another level.
He does, doesn't he?
I just don't know how you can be so descriptive.
Drugs.
Look.
I'm kind of doubtful.
We need to move on.
But also not.
We need to move on from this, but I think I've seen it in a new light just from you guys talking about it, so I think it might be worth another
Check
couple
it out.
of
Yeah,
Yeah,
listen,
I'm
man.
definitely going to have another listen to it properly.
Oh, man.
But
An 8 is not high enough score for that song.
I'm starting to question my 5, but I still stand by it for now. So shall we move on?
Yeah. Stay happy there.
I'd say 7 out of 10.
That's all you got.
And that's my answer.
There's my...
Lock it in, Eddie.
Lock it in. 7 out of 10. Great song. It kind of starts off with almost the way the music feels is almost panicked. You kind of do feel panicked, and then it sort of calms through, and then you feel sort of panicked again, and then towards the end, it sends like almost like an anxiety through you.
Yeah, which I think,
and I think which is supposed to, because it kind of relates back
It's
to
rather ironic to be a song called Stay Happy There.
Yeah, it kind of relates back to
breakup
Hudsonville.
it's not a breakup. It's literally like stay happy there. It's like off you go.
Because
I guess I
something
won't
is
be seeing
missing
you
now.
And
Normal mornings like this, so the
Yeah.
nights I won't forget.
and it's like you wake up and remember the
Was
world
I
you're in,
left
and
here?
you've. It's almost like it's like you go through a sort of grief when you split up with someone.
Yeah.
And it's describing that pretty viscerally. The really anxiety-inducing aspects of that.
It's alright.
Also,
I will
there's
fix
a
whatever
throwback
is
line
not
in
the
this
sweetness
song that
in
says,
your eyes. Just sit down.
somewhere on the top of a high rise, there's a woman on a ledge. There's a woman at the edge of a building on the ledge, and traffic's backing up on 35.
Yes, so what he does in this song is he talks about his situation with his scenario, his breakup, all of these feelings, all of this movement and emotion, and then he puts it into perspective with what else is happening out there.
Yeah, like
Other
somewhere a
songs that he
storm
spoke about,
touching down
Hudsonville, 35,
in Hudsonville.
the song we just spoke about, the traffic
somewhere
backing
the
up.
coffee starts to boil on the stove.
Hudsonville.
He keeps relating back to all
these
these different-
moments and saying pretty much my perspective, my situation right now, how does that relate
That's
in the
a
grand
stack
scheme?
up.
Tiny dots on an endless timeline, that's how.
That,
It's
that
another
reminds
moment
me
in
of another
time.
Loud Dispute song.
It's
of
another-
Wildlife. It reminds me of All Our Bruised Bodies.
and the whole heart shrinks.
And the Heart Shrinks is literally
Yeah.
like that's what the theme of the song is. Like
Exactly right.
where everyone at some point comes to suffering. I wonder when I will.
I wonder when I will. That's exactly right. And he's talking about
Yeah.
it in perspective. When you put it all into perspective, who's
God,
suffering?
This man.
Who's when you
This
no.
band, man, this band, how they can.
Oh.
Tell me
Which
what
is-
your
this is
worst
why I was
thoughts
happy
are
to
that
ink
make it a lot
myself.
like mine.
Look at
Let's
for
not get
instance,
a wildlife.
take everybody's pain and suffering and hurt and their moments in their time, put them together, and see who's and if can you
Is that suffering?
estimate their pain? You know what I mean?
Can you
can
compare
you
it?
compare it?
Is what you're going, but it's not even saying like
No, but
is
you
what
know
you're going
you know what
through
I mean?
not
Like,
the same. Like you're
it's
it's still grievance and suffering and all that, but it's about having perspective, I guess.
It's about having perspective in that sense.
So this song
It's
is
like
literally
multiple-
like the whole
It
heart
is.
shrinks
It
kind
is.
This
It
of
is.
song of
And
the
this-
album,
So
tying
this-
everything in together.
It does. When the album first came out, this was my favorite song right at the start. This was the one I was like, I straight up just like the sound of this one. I'm going to listen to this more. And then I started figuring out the rest of the songs. Figured out, after about a week, I was like, no, Ice was my favorite song. But this was the first one that I was like, wow. And I've written here, heavier song. You know what I mean? Just a small little jot down, heavier song.
Probably the heaviest.
It
on the
was
album.
the heaviest
Yeah,
in the
probably will
album
be.
off the bat. Started off the cuff with something like strong and a bit somewhere in the bottom of the river, with like some of the actual riffage was strong and heavy. And straight away I was like, nice, that was sick. You know what I mean? I'm going to listen to that one again. I've written lyrics cover other relative songs on the album. Like, that's just what happens. He talks about these other moments and he pretty much just compares them for you right in front of you. And you're like, stop getting into everybody's mind. You're talking from your own, from the person you're talking about, and now from mine.
And now your experience is mine.
Yeah, and now
Yeah.
now we are one. There can only be one. The end. Only one. I'll give this a 7 out of 10. It's such a good song. It's just so good. It just doesn't hit the same as the other ones anymore now because I think I probably over-listened it.
How counterproductive.
Mm.
You've nailed most of it, I think. about like lyrically about how it sort of pieces everything together, puts things in perspective, meshes all the stories being told in this album. I hadn't even really thought about it that way until
Yeah,
less
just
mesh,
now,
more connect.
but it makes so much sense now. It seems almost obvious, like it was in front of my face the whole time. I think I probably vibe with it more musically than anything.
Yeah, I definitely vibe with it more musically than what I do with the actual
Like
the actual
it's
song.
very emotive. Like it's just got well pieced together chord progressions in it, and it actually reminds me of Marion Splitsville in a lot of ways musically. Like it's hard and
slaps.
emotive. It's just a bit faster, and it's quite faster.
It is fast.
Yeah, especially at the start.
And then like there's because a lot of it's a build up. Like like I've said a lot. Build ups and big finishes I love, and this has that a lot, big time. Like the and like just everything is happening at once, and then it builds up right on the climax and finishes right on the climax.
Yeah.
So that's just what I like about it. So I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Yeah, cool.
And I think
That's
I
fair.
stand by that rating even more now, having a deeper perspective of the lyrics, thanks to your description of it.
All of us.
Yeah, all of you guys. And I guess I sort of knew that sort of stuff, but it never really.
Once again, you heard it, but
It's
you
almost
never
overwhelming
listened.
how much that I got to take in.
You heard
with
the
this,
song.
so
You heard the
now
song, but you
now
never
I've had a
listened to
chance
it.
to.
Man,
See.
let a spit really make it a chore to
Not a chore. Like, sure, it's hard work, but I don't find it a
to
chore.
really start until you start discussing the albums, like what in the songs.
Well, I've had a lot of discussions
pulling
in my
it
own
apart.
head.
Yeah,
We've
these
had a
albums.
lot of discussions between ourselves about this as well.
Should have been recording that.
but we've never talked about these.
But we've never actually sat down and
songs.
pulled it apart
Yeah.
in a sense. And we're not exactly that we're pulling it apart, but we're talking about, we're giving it a score here. We're giving it a score out of 10. Like, we're being critical on that. We may be saying, it's a heavy song. It's got a good breakdown. It's pretty melodic, I think.
It's got a
This shit
the
busting.
good
This
Weedle
shit
Weedles in
busting. You know? Jeez! Damn! We might be saying that, but truth is, we're giving it a... If we're saying that, it's because it deserves that, in our opinion. We're giving it a score right now, an actual score, and we're putting it in a scale of all music that we're listening to and all albums that we're listening to. And we're being pretty critical here. If one of us holds something of value to a song,
I almost
there
think
has to be something behind that.
I look at all these
You know?
songs through a critical lens when I do this, and that sort of sways my true opinion in many ways.
Yeah. So, like,
That's my raw opinion.
for instance, for the next song,
Well, hang on.
I'm gonna give it.
We can move on. If we've all given our
Yeah.
piece on.
Yeah.
So stay happy there. 8 out of 10.
Not a vet. She's not ready.
No, I'm very ready to move on to the next song.
Okay. Paul. What'd you give it? 7
I gave it a 7,
and 7.
and deserving 7.
What'd you give it?
No, the last song.
Yeah.
Stay happy there. Yeah.
Yes, 7. Or did I give it an 8? I can't remember.
Give it an 8, mate. Come on.
I'll give it an 8.
Oh, and you gave it an 8 as well.
Yeah.
Now that we've
And
talked about it, yeah.
Yvette's given it a chef's kiss. Ali's hasn't given it nothing. Sorry, I got one more quick point in there as well about
She
it,
gave
which
it
I've
the
just
vanilla
sort of thinking
bellissimo.
of, and it's been like on and off in my brain. What?
She gave it the vanilla bellissimo. She just
Bellissimo, Mickey Mouse. Twirl the stash. It's a Mickey Mouse. I'm trying to remember this, guys, and it's just like in and out of my brain. There, Mickey Mouse is in my head.
that's for true.
The lyrics at the That's for true.
That's for true.
Oh god.
Oh man,
I really
inside
so
jokes.
obviously we're talking about how he sort of like Jordan. He gets inside of characters. He's talking about his perspective. He's also talking about his partner's perspective and their breakup and what's happening. And like just that in itself is incredible. Like get rid of the last part where he connects it to the rest of the album. Just that in itself,
Don't.
like don't.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is just that part itself. It's just so interesting how he can talk about his own perspective and then from her perspective as his partner in the same scenario. You know what I mean? He's pretty much saying, look, I'm not, I can't.
I haven't been listening for like the last 30 seconds. I zoned out because I was thinking about the
Mickey
the
Mouse.
last concert we went to.
So I was looking
And
at that
hose.
bird over there.
Squirrel.
It's good. All right,
We've got to move.
let's move on.
We just stopped and had a really serious talk about miscarriage and stillbirth and other aspects of women's health. And I think if you know this album, and you already probably know what this song's about. But if this sort of, because I wouldn't have thought to do this if we didn't have the conversation we just did. So if there's going to be a trigger warning here, or content warning, or whatever you want to call it, that if those sort of topics make you uncomfortable, then it might be best to skip to this time, which I'll put in, and then go from there. But otherwise, let's move on to song 8, The Child We Lost, 1963. I'm probably not even going to look at my notes after talking about it. That way we just did.
am not going to look at my notes after
Because
talking about it. Besides my score
have a
and
completely
my
different
new
perspective.
evaluation.
I was gonna. I
Agreed.
mean, look, originally I gave it a 6 out of 10, and I said this is a fantastic song. Rah, rah, rah. I just have a huge affinity for it. I was going to mention how you have a big affinity for it, and that once again was another one of those songs that made me appreciate it a bit more. But yeah, after the conversation we just had about it, it perfectly encapsulates the several aspects of these sort of themes, like miscarriages and stillbirths and stuff, and how often it can go wrong is something I learned, and how it's sort of seen as a borderline shameful thing, even though it's something that just it's not shameful at all, and it's kind of hard for me to put into words because I feel like I'm still a bit smacked on my ass from what I've learned about it and what we have to discussing it. So I have totally new perspective on this song and how this song embodies these kind of themes better than probably any other song I can certainly think of. So I bumped it up to an 8 out of 10. It's now. I've said a few songs now that I'm going to go back and listen to a few, but this is going to be completely new perspective. It's like going to be listening to this song for the first time. That's all I have to say.
I think I'm in the same boat. Actually, we had a very, very in-depth discussion just then, and it's brought elements to parts of the song that I can remember the lyrics and the moments for, and I'm connecting a couple of dots in a couple of comments, and I think that fortunately for circumstance, but unfortunately for this particular podcast, I'm not going to give this song a rating. I'm going to make an update later on with my rating for this song, because I would like to listen to it again and treat it as it should be treated, I think. I think I'd come up with something, if as passionate as what we've heard so far about this song is
The new perspective.
with this new perspective, I feel like we should it deserves another go through and a bit more in depth of a look. So
Well said.
unfortunately had a 5 written down for this for
you-
most of the
perspectives.
same reasons that Owen said. It was a great song, really good, just never connected with me. But part of the reason it never connected with me, I never connected with it. So that's all I've got to say for it.
Well, this song is probably my favourite song on the album, due to it being so heavy. I'd probably give this song a 9 out of 10. Not from a personal perspective, but I'd talk to my mum, for instance, who she's openly talked to me about her having miscarriages and stuff, and how it affected her, and that's how I sort of took the song into grasp, and just how descriptive the song is of the whole, the secrecy of the whole thing, of like having a stillbirth, which just seems so horrific in my mind, and I couldn't imagine somebody having to go through that, and I hope none of us have to go through that, because it would be devastating. But not just that, it sort of touches on death at the end of life as well, towards the end, where it's talking about losing a parent as well, which is it's sort of like two opposite ends of the spectrum of
something
Like,
natural and something.
Something, yeah. I don't know where to keep going with this. I did talk to. Well, I was talking to somebody quite a few years ago now when this song came out, and it really sort of captivated me. And they were going through a really hard time where they lost their grandma, and her cousin had recently had a death of an infant child, and she was going through a really hard time with that. And I'm not sure if it was a good thing for me to do or for something for her to read to find some kind of perspective, or to find some sort of kind of insight, but more like a commonality, I guess, in it. And she was kind of quite thankful for me showing her that song. And so I give the song a 9 out of 10 because it's very hard hitting, kind of like it hits me kind of like how I See Everything hits me.
Yeah.
Because it's such an impactful song, it's such a horrific thing. There's one thing.
Pretty similar themes.
There's one thing of world themes happening where people are dying on like a bridge or in a storm or something like that, where it's a natural disaster or something going wrong. But I think when a child dies before it's even had a chance is pretty horrific for everybody involved. So
Sort of
yeah,
like that time and place. You're in the wrong time, at the wrong place at the wrong time,
And
but
had a chance at living.
and had a chance. But how did that child?
It feels wrong.
It
It
never
feels like
had.
it's
It
not
never
fair.
had that chance
It isn't fair.
to choose.
yeah, but I guess lyrically this song is incredible. The descriptions of mapping out the bedroom, for one, where it says there were shadows in the bedroom where the light got thrown by the lamp on the nightstand. On our mother's side, after midnight, still you can see it all. You can see it all. And the closet in the corner on the far back shelf with the keepsake, she hid that box there full of letters of regret by the pictures of the kids. It really does paint a pretty vivid picture in your mind of what goes on. Letters of regret, though, was I like just reading that then going that's pretty shit that people have to regret something like that.
Song 9. Woman reading. Woman.
Girl
Reading.
arrest.
What's she reading?
May I start?
Hmm.
This is my favourite of the two woman tracks. Woman tracks. I find it, like much of the many of the songs in this album, but I find this one to be the most beautifully descriptive, emotional song on the album. Musically, it fills me with like a contentness, I guess, is a way of describing it, during a lot of the quiet parts, and like a nostalgic longing through some of the heavy parts and more emotional raw parts. And yeah, and this is probably the biggest track when it comes to like goosebumps for me, particularly in the bit, in that like loud heavy bit where it's like all coming together and there's like this key change to like a major key. So I'll put it in here.
And I can't tell what the difference is between the ones that we made and the ones that we didn't make. They don't catch your images still where you sit and you read in the sunlight or where that I watch.
You guys know what I'm talking about right now, but like there's I think it's a bit where it's like, I don't know what the difference is between the ones that we made, in reference to the memories, and the ones that we didn't make. And then it changes right there to a major chord, and it hits me every time. I don't know what it is about it. I don't know if it's the music or the lyrics or a combination of both or whatever, but it gets me. And yeah, I think it might actually be my favourite song on the album.
Wow.
So yeah, I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Like, I have a totally different perspective. Like, this is literally just all musicality for me.
Yeah.
I haven't really sort of given the lyrics, like I could probably listen to the song and go, oh yeah, I know what the song's sort of going on about. But it's been one of those songs where I kind of just put on in the background because it's such a calm, ambient tune, and then it kind of still has the build up.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's literally just all musicality for me. Just a nice sort of mellow song to really chill out to.
Alright.
Fucking do it.
Please continue.
So
Dixie.
for that, I give it a 7 out of 10.
Hey, I gave it a 7 out of 10 too. I didn't give it a score. I didn't really talk about it, but spot on. It was spot on. It's a good song. I pretty much agree with what you guys said about it, to be honest. I think it's... I probably haven't listened to the lyrics enough on this one.
Yeah.
Probably listen to the music, just let it wash over a little bit more anyway. So yeah, I'll probably give it a 7 out of 10 because I never skip it. You know, it's always good.
I sure as hell don't skip it. Yeah, cool. Song 10. Extraordinary Dinner Party.
Extraordinary.
Extraordinary.
Well, I'll start by saying I haven't realised how much I've sort of missed out on this album with lyrics. While it's literally all just musicality for me with this album and how everything flows. I've never sort of given it the light of day to be able to just sit there and pull apart the lyrics. A couple of songs that have caught me, but this song has literally just been like another sort of
You glaze over it.
glazed over it, yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Probably more so than any other song on the album.
Really?
Yeah, I
get that.
I still listen to, like, I have to listen to the album like song after song. I've got to start to finish. But yeah, this song just is kind of like a nothing song for me.
So what do you give it then?
Extraordinary Dinner Party.
Yeah, I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
Well, I also give it a 6 out of 10, but I don't think it's a nothing song. I don't think it's like one of the better songs in the album.
Yeah, I guess it's not really a nothing song. It's just a song that I kind of glazed
just
over.
there.
Yeah.
I think it's funny though because I think it's unique to the rest of the album. It's quite upbeat and chirpy compared to a lot. I mean, some of them musically are that like that, but this one particularly so. It's like almost like a little pop song. And I think what separates this song probably from like what makes this a little bit more unique to the rest of them, at least as far as I'm aware, is that you know the conversations, where they talk about wildlife.
Song, yeah.
Where Jordan talks about wildlife, and in the background, like it's got all these like 4-track or something demos on like a tape recorder or something, recorded by Chad, the guitarist, of like just riffs that were intended to be or are on wildlife, and one of them is the main riff of this song.
It's very wildlife, actually.
Yeah.
Well, it is. I think it was meant to be for wildlife initially. Maybe not lyrics or whatever, but definitely that riff was meant to be for wildlife.
Yeah, hectic.
So
That's cool.
it's cool. Paul?
We are not addressing the elephant in the room. The tiny little block out stop end, and then the 20 more seconds until objects in space sort of counting starts.
Yeah.
And they like sort of hit it. They
has
muck
like a
up.
final-
They laugh. And then they count it in again, and then objects in space start the next song.
I always consider that to be part of that song.
Yeah, me too. I consider it to be part of Extraordinary Dinner Party.
No, I consider that part
To be
where they're
part of
laughing
Objects in
and counting
Space?
I consider that to be part of it.
No,
Because
that's
I always
not-
listen to this
that's-
album all the way through. I know it's not, but
yeah, no, me too. But
yeah, I just think
I think being at the end of the album, and it's such an emotional overhaul, this whole album. So by the time you get to Extraordinary Dinner Party, you probably don't give it as much recognition as what it needs. Same with The Child We Lost, I reckon. You know what I mean? Like, it's just at the end, you've already expensed all of your energy.
It's like what we were saying yesterday
You know what I mean?
about, the other day about Blood Moon, and how it feels like a lot of the first half of the album leads up to that song. And then after that, there's nothing wrong with any of those songs. In fact, some of the really good
It's just
songs in the album are there. They're just post Blood Moon songs.
Post Blood Moon.
And I think, what you're saying is this is a bit of
Obviously, the middle of the album I've rated so highly, so sort of you hit that sort of roller coaster dip.
Yep.
I reckon this song's fantastic in itself. Like, I've got no issues with it at all. I think that it's really good. It's got a really great riff. It's, you know,
that riff is
you're sort of like,
there.
cool. You want to sort of like do a little bop to it. Yeah, and it's a bit of a happier song, like musically,
Major
which is
key.
nice. Major keys, hey? That's it. But yeah, I really like the middle of the song.
What do you give it?
Yeah, I'll probably give it a 6 too. I'll probably give it a 6.
Fair rating.
Yeah, it never really stuck out to me. I'll probably go back and listen to the songs that I've given a
I
lower
think I'm
rating
gonna go back and listen to this whole fucking album.
Yeah, I'm gonna
again
have to
and
big
go
time.
through it. But it's so much effort to go through
I
the
honestly
lyrics
feel
because
like I've been missing out on something.
You've got to
here.
pull them all apart.
Even
you know?
though I've listened to the album 100 times, I feel like I've missed out on so much.
Yeah.
Wow, it's crazy.
Amazing that they can do that with an album, though. Objects in Space.
Final song. Light Dispute have done this sort of thing twice now with their last 2 full-length albums. This sort of very simple music, quiet, gentle, like background music with spoken word, and geez, talk about being in the moment. I think this does a really good job of really just picturing the scenario that he's painting of, you know, literally like going through shit that reminds you of a time or place where you once were, and putting it in on the floor and laying it all out and remembering moments. And like, I think surely we've all had that, like just going through shit, pulling shit out of cupboards or whatever, and being like, fucking hell, all these memories here. And it does a really good job of that. So I mean, I guess from a poetic perspective, and I'm like, damn, this is awesome. But it's just like and I sort of feel the same way about the other song, of course, I was referring to. They do this with the final song on Panorama, which I actually can't remember the name of right now.
I can't remember any of the songs on Panorama. I've listened to it quite a few times, but nothing on the whole album has just grabbed me at all. It's just been
That's interesting.
background
That is
music for me now.
But well, the last song on that's very similar, and like it's almost like a little garnish on the album, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I could almost live without it. But that being said, like, it is a good way to end it. Like, so
Being something that isn't necessary, but is also
yeah, dude. Imagine if it ended on Extraordinary Dinner Party. I'd be like, what the fuck just happened?
yeah.
Like, I'd be like, that's it. Like,
And they left the
after
count.
such an
They left
awesome
the counting in it.
album. So
Down it.
if
1, 2, 3, 4,
actually, that would kind of be dope.
and it ends.
That shit bussin'.
That's your bus.
So no, I think it's a really cool little finish, but I don't care especially for it as a song per se. So I've given it a little cheeky 5 out of 10.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm gonna equal that 5 out of 10. It's just
Call it.
it's just a literally just another glazed over song. There's so many songs on this album that I feel sort of glazed over. Yeah, it's just an ending.
It's just
It's
an ending. That's
literally
all it
just-
is.
It's
It
just
ends
a tie-off.
Caps it off. See you later. Pack it up, Chief.
You both gave it a 5. I actually appreciate it a little bit more. I feel like the more you listen to it, the more it gets good. I feel like the riff to it is a little bit boring the first time you hear it through, but with all good music, you know, you do something and then you're going to add a little bit to it and you add a little bit to it, so it keeps progressing, keeps changing. You know what I mean? When you stick to that pop structure of like chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, ending,
That's what extra
chorus, ending, you know what I mean? But in saying that, I feel like every time you hear that riff, it gets a little bit extra, it gets a little bit more, it gets a little bit more passion in it. It gets good. I actually really like it.
Passion like that.
Thanks, Mark.
Shout out to Mark.
I do feel like it's a really slow song, and that I sort of take away some points because it is quite slow. But I do like the fact, you know, what it's talking about, pulling everything apart and pretty much living through those tiny dots.
Yeah.
Maybe
You know what I mean?
I
And
called
dots.
it too
Those
early.
tiny
I
dots.
reckon this is the quiet song of the album.
This might be the quiet
Alright, let's
song.
have another drink then. Cheers.
Well, I
This
can't
might be
because
the
I've
quiet
run
song.
out of beers. Ooh.
It's like a little baby.
Oh, damn, that's So good.
Oh, how good. I'll have Stone and Wood.
Stonewood.
So I give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
Alright,
Cool.
we're going to wrap this one up nice and quickly
Yeah, we've come to the end.
because we've been recording for
Apologies
a long
for all
time.
the fuck ups.
Yeah, there's been so many.
They're called tech issues,
Yeah,
Brandon.
sorry, tech. Was it?
Sorry for all the tech fuck-ups.
It's
The tech stickles fuck ups.
the texticles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too many a lot of texticles this podcast. Sorry about that, but
Stopping and starting.
Alright.
And
the audio's all there and
People
our
coming
points have
and
been
going.
across. Yeah. It's been a roller coaster too.
It's been a roller coaster.
So I
We've learned a lot tonight.
I love that, and I think a lot of the last speed ones will be like that.
Yeah,
So-
well, I think so too. We've definitely learned a
So
lot
let's
this
quickly wrap
podcast.
up. Paul, favorite song and why?
Oh, shit. My favourite song is...
Light bearer.
yeah, it's Lightbearer. What did I put? Splitsville. My favourite song is Splitsville because I'm an edgelord.
That's all, mate. That's all I need. BK favorite song. Well, I think we know.
Yeah, Child We Lost is definitely.
Yeah.
Can I say my favourite?
Yeah.
Can I come on?
Yeah. You haven't been on
Welcome,
camera the whole
Yvette.
time. You've just been like
Not Avette,
just lie across
Yvette.
Paul. What's your favorite
Betty
song?
Spaghetti.
My
I thought you were
favourite-
coming prepared.
Yeah, I thought you were ready for this.
My favourite song is The Child We Lost because I think it is the most descriptive and accurate song on the album and it makes me feel all of the feels.
Well
Thanks,
put.
Yvette.
Well said. Thank you, Yvette. My favourite song is Woman Reading because of the reasons I said. Because it Miko thinks that's funny. Because musically it's got the build up and the big crescendo and that big key
Like
change
the,
just gives me goosebumps. So I love it to bits.
The kettle on the stove, the steam of crescendos.
Least favourite song, Paul.
My least favourite song is Woman in a Mirror. In Mirror.
Damn.
Well, I guess go back and listen to it. That's why I didn't like it. No, I'm kidding.
That's it.
No,
Should all be there.
pretty much for the reasons I said in the review for it. It just didn't hit me the same as a lot of the other songs. I probably could say,
that's cool, man.
yeah, no,
I think a lot of that, that's
yeah,
originally was my reasoning behind 35. Just didn't hit me, but after the way you guys talked about it, I don't think I can
I'm
comfortably
definitely going to have to
say.
go back and listen to that one too.
I don't think I can
Same
comfortably
goes.
say 35 is my least favorite anymore. I think I'll say it's Objects in Space.
Yeah,
Because-
I'm going to say objects in space as well.
you both gave it a 5.
Yeah.
Your overall opinion rating out of 10 of the album.
This album as a whole is a 9.
Yep.
Because even though we've talked about not listening to so much of so many songs, I've still listened to it thousands of times.
That's a lot of time.
Tens of hundreds of times.
Tens of hundreds of times. Alright?
That's a lot.
It's less than thousands, so don't worry about it. No, seriously.
I'd be surprised if you listened to it 100 times.
Alright. Maybe an exaggeration. I've listened to it.
Just a slight.
Round up to 100. We'll
Yeah.
give you that.
I've listened to it more or less than 100 times. You pick.
So what do you rate it?
You've still listened to the whole thing, so
Nine.
yeah, it's a 9. The whole album's a 9 out of 10.
Out of all the Light Dispute albums, I probably rated an 8. Definitely don't rate it anywhere near as high as the other ones. It's just not the Light Dispute album that I go clawing back for.
I pretty much share exactly
Yet.
that sentiment, but I give it a 7
Yet.
for that. But I think maybe
Yet.
now that I have a new appreciation.
No.
No,
You don't
well,
think
we
so?
don't know because now they got a new appreciation for the songs. I think
Yeah, definitely.
I could knock her up to an 8, but I still think it will stay in that lane of it's not the Light Dispute album I go back to. If I think fuck man, I just need to listen to some Light Spizzle, I put on Wildlife or something.
Yeah, it's always one.
Yeah.
like it.
Always Wildlife.
Those, oh god, I can't even put words. But there, so, but this was actually the first one I bought on vinyl, so it wins that title. So yeah, 7 out of 10 for me.
We want to give a really big thank you to Yvette and Alia. Yvette talked to us a lot about the knowledge that we've gained from a couple of these songs, some stuff that we didn't know, and that really changed our perspective and the changed way that we looked at this album. I think obviously we've all spoken about that we're going to go on and learn a little bit more, so thank you to her for opening up our minds a little bit about that and teaching us some
Learned
stuff
so
that
much.
is really important and good for us to know, good for anyone to know. So, I think Owen's going to link at some point in some links. If you want to learn more about this sort of the stuff we're talking about here, follow those links. We want to say thank you to everybody for listening in. If you have up until now, thank you for listening to episode 4. That's fantastic. If you're watching on YouTube, thanks for watching.
And sorry
Press
about
the like button.
Sorry about all of the. Sorry
Smash
about
that like button.
like and
Can't believe I'm
slap
saying that.
slap it. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you guys for watching. Sorry about all of the video issues.
Oh, God.
Us not recording certain stuff and things being all over the place, but hopefully the memes will make it feel better. And yeah,
Okay.
like and subscribe to us on all of our stuff. If you want to get in touch, you can email us at HamBoysPod, that is HamBoyspod @gmail.com. You can hit us up on Instagram, which is HamBoysPod. You can hit us up on YouTube, which is HamBoysPod. You can podcast. You can hit us up on Facebook.
Owen Holland and Paul
You
Pessimenti.
can hit us up on Facebook, which is Nick O'Dwyer. Address 555 or 159. Yeah, get in touch with us, guys. We still want to know what you guys think about your thoughts on this album and anything you have to say to us.
And thanks again, BK, for joining us, which you'll be in many, 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 many more.
No workers.
This
I look
means
forward
seeing
to the future album reviews.
So you'll be back?
I'll be back. Maybe.
No.
Well, that's for sure.
Well, that's for true.
Well, that's for true.
That's for true.
I'll be back. That's for true.
Thanks, guys.
See ya.